Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healthy Talks channel. I'm Emily, and I'm joined by Dr. Steven. Today, we're asking the question on everyone's mind. In a world that never stops, how do we actually deal with stress before it deals with us?
That really is the question of the decade, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, looking at the calendar, we're firmly in early 2026.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays feel like a lifetime ago. That whole new year, new me energy is gone.
Oh, completely gone. We're left with what I call the stretched thin energy, that feeling that, the to-do list didn't reset on January 1st. It just rolled over.
It just rolled over, exactly. And that feeling, that stretched thin feeling, is what we really need to unpack today. But I want to be super clear right from the start.
Okay.
This deep dive we're doing, it isn't a lecture on how to, eliminate stress from your life.
Which is good, because if the advice is eliminate stress, my only move is to quit my job and go live in a cave somewhere.
Right. I mean, if you're alive, you're going to have stress.
Yeah.
It's biologically just.
Yeah.
It's impossible not to. So the mission today isn't elimination, it's mastery.
Mastery. I like the sound of that. Because usually when stress management comes up, I just picture, moving to a beach house. My only worry is a coconut falling on my head.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly practical. Not for most of us, anyway.
It's not. And frankly, you don't need to move to a beach to actually fix your body's chemistry. Today, we're going to look at what I call pressure valve techniques.
Okay.
These are micro breaks. We're talking about actions that take less than 60 seconds, sometimes just 10 seconds. But they physically change the way your body is processing stress hormones.
Less than a minute to change your body chemistry. That sounds a little too good to be true.
Yeah.
But I know you've got the science, so let's unpack this pressure valve idea. It's an analogy, I'm guessing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best way to really picture what's happening inside our bodies. I want you and everyone listening to imagine the human body like an old steam engine.
Okay, got it. Pistons, gears, lots of hissing steam. Very industrial revolution.
Exactly. So in that engine, the steam is what drives it. That's the energy. In our bodies, that steam is our stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline mostly.
Right.
When we face any kind of demand, a deadline, a crying kid, even just traffic, the body makes extra energy. It's that fight or flight response, biological fuel.
So wait a minute. The scheme itself, the stress, it isn't a bad thing. It's what makes the engine go.
Precisely. And I think that's a huge misconception we need to clear up right now. We always villainize cortisol. We talk about it like it's a poison we need to flush out.
I've heard that.
But experts are clear that cortisol is not the enemy. It's what helps us wake up in the morning, keeps us alert. The problem isn't the steam, it's the buildup.
The pressure.
The pressure. If a steam engine keeps building up steam more and more and more, and there's nowhere for that steam to go, what happens?
The gasket blows. The whole thing breaks down.
The gasket blows. And medically, a blown gasket looks like all those symptoms we read about. Chronic headaches, high blood pressure, stomach problems, not being able to sleep. The system fails not because it made steam, but because it didn't have a valve to release it.
That makes so much sense. We're all just walking around with this pressure building up, and instead of opening a valve, we just try to clamp the lid down tighter. We power through.
And this is where it gets a little ironic. The research shows that one of the biggest sources of modern stress is, it's worrying about stress.
Oh, I do that all the time. I'm so stressed, and stress is bad for me, so now I'm stressed about being stressed.
It's a vicious cycle. You're creating more steam because you're scared of the steam. So the first step really is just acceptance. Stress is normal. It's a physiological response, not a character flaw. It's just physics. You have pressure, you just need a valve.
Okay, let's talk about the valves. Because like I said, my fantasy valve is the tropical island one. A week in the Bahamas and I'll be fine. I have a feeling you're about to debunk that.
It's the tropical island myth. And it's actually pretty dangerous for our health. If you're waiting for that 1 week a year to relax, you're basically agreeing to live in a state of chronic stress for the other 50 weeks.
That's a scary way to put it.
That's when the real damage happens. To your arteries, to your brain. So you need stress resets. Valves you can open right now at your desk.
All right, I'm ready. Hit me with the first one. What's the quickest valve for letting off some steam?
The first one is physical movement. And I don't mean a 45-minute workout. I mean something called the shakeout.
The shakeout? Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
a little undignified.
It is. It is completely undignified. But the physiology behind it is fascinating. When you're stressed, your body is primed to, fight or run away. Your muscles are tense, your heart rate's up. If you just sit still, that energy stews. It turns into this static tension. But if you stand up and you just vigorously shake your hands, your arms, your legs for just 10 seconds.
10 seconds, that's it.
Just 10 seconds. It immediately reduces the emotional intensity of the stress. It breaks that tension. Think about a nature documentary. You see a gazelle escape a lion. What's the first thing it does?
It shakes. I've seen that. A full body shake.
Exactly. It's physically discharging that freeze response so that it doesn't carry the trauma. We have that same mechanism, but we suppress it. We don't want to look weird in the office.
You know, it sounds a bit silly, but I can totally see why that would work. You're literally shaking it off.
You are. And there's a deeper science here, which is really compelling. Vigorous movement, or exercise, it actually mimics the feeling of stress.
Hold on. Why would we want to mimic stress? Isn't that what we're trying to get away from?
I know it sounds counterintuitive, but stick with me. When you exercise, even a brisk walk, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up. To your body, that looks just like a stress response. But because you're doing it on purpose, and then you stop and cool down, you're actually teaching your biological system how to recover. You're training your body to say, okay, the spike is over, now we go back to baseline.
Wow, that's cool. So it's like building muscle memory for calming down. You're taking your nervous system to the gym.
Precisely. If you just sit in a chair all day, stewing in that anxiety, your body forgets how to downregulate. So this valve, it isn't just burning off energy, it's training the regulator.
Okay, so valve number 1 is move. Shake it out, walk around, just move the energy. But I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
I cannot do jumping jacks in the middle of a budget meeting. I mean, my boss is great, but violently shaking my body while he's talking quarterly projections, I think that's a trip to HR.
That is a very valid point.
Yeah.
The shakeout is more of a bathroom break technique.
Yeah.
For the boardroom, you need something invisible.
Right.
Which brings us to valve number 2, the breath.
Ugh, breathing. You know, everyone says just breathe. And sometimes that's the most annoying advice when you're panicking. It feels dismissive, but you're talking about something specific.
I am. Not just regular breathing. I'm talking about using your breath like a remote control for your nervous system. See, when we're stressed, we take short, shallow breaths high up in the chest. That sends a distress signal to the brain saying, danger, we're in danger. And the brain just pumps out more cortisol.
So we're accidentally telling our own brains to panic more.
We're fueling the fire. But deep, rhythmic breathing does the exact opposite. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, that's the rest and digest mode. It physically stabilizes your blood pressure. And there's a specific technique for this called box breathing.
Box breathing, I've heard of that. Isn't that what Navy SEALs use?
It is. And the logic is, if it can calm someone down in a combat zone, it can probably help us get through a stressful email. It's called a box because it has 4 equal sides.
Okay, walk me through it. How do you do it?
So just picture a square in your mind. Side 1. You inhale through your nose for a count of 4.
Okay.
Side 2, you just hold that breath for a count of 4. Side 3, you exhale through your mouth, again for a count of 4. And side 4, you hold your lungs empty for a final count of 4. Then you repeat.
So inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. I feel like those holds are the tricky part.
The holds are where the magic is. That period forces your carbon dioxide levels to regulate, and when they rise just a tiny bit, it stimulates something called the vagus nerve. That nerve tells your heart to slow down. Just 2 or 3 cycles can physically drop your heart rate.
And the best part is no one around you has to know you're doing it. You just look like you're listening really carefully.
It's the invisible valve. Now, there's one other variation which is better for when you're maybe trying to sleep or feeling really anxious. It's called the 4-7-8 method.
How does that one work?
You inhale for 4, you hold for a longer count of 7, and then you do a really slow exhale for 8. The key there is the long exhale. An exhale that's twice as long as the inhale acts like a natural tranquilizer for the nervous system.
4, 7, 8. That sounds powerful.
It can be. Actually, there's a good safety tip on this. If you've never done these deep breathing techniques, don't do more than 3 or 4 cycles at first. You can actually get a little dizzy from how effectively it changes your oxygen levels.
Right. Note to self. Do not pass out from relaxation during the staff meeting.
Generally good career advice, yes.
So we have the physical valve, movement, breath valve, box breathing. But what about when the stress isn't physical? It's all mental. It's that thought loop in my head. I'm sitting on my couch, totally safe, but my brain is just spinning, worrying about things I can't change.
The mental valve.
Yeah.
And this is, arguably the hardest one to use because the pressure is coming from inside. This is where we shift from physiology to psychology. And you hit on it, worrying about things we can't change. All the what ifs. The research really emphasizes being able to distinguish what you can control from what you can't.
It's the serenity prayer, basically.
It is. But in a medical sense, it's about conserving your energy.
Hmm.
If you're facing, say, a redundancy at work or a family illness, those are huge stressors. But you can't control the global economy or the biology of an illness.
Right.
You can only control your response. So the valve here is accepting the situation. That frees up the steam to focus on practical steps, updating your CV, asking for support, taking care of yourself.
It's like stop banging your head against the locked door and look for an open window.
Exactly. But there's a specific tool for this mental shift.
Yeah.
And it's not just think positive. It's called the gratitude pivot.
Okay, I have to admit, when I'm having a truly terrible day and someone tells me to be grateful, I kind of want to scream. It can feel like toxic positivity.
And that's a completely normal response.
Ugh.
But here's why it's a biological tool, not just self-help. It works because of our brain's natural negative bias.
What's the negative bias?
Our brains evolved to look for threats. To survive, you had to notice the tiger in the bushes, not the pretty flower next to it. So we are hardwired to scan for what's going wrong. It's a survival mechanism.
So my brain just thinks it's keeping me safe by pointing out everything that's terrible.
Yes, it's a safety feature that's just. It's malfunctioning in our modern world. It treats a passive-aggressive email like a tiger. So gratitude isn't about ignoring the tiger. It's about forcing your brain to also scan for the good stuff, to break the tunnel vision. The advice is simple. Just write down 3 things that went well or 3 things you're grateful for.
Just 3 things.
Just 3. And they can be tiny. My coffee was hot. I found a parking spot. I got a seat on the train.
I didn't do jumping jacks in the board meeting.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Put it on the list. Doing that consistently actually starts to shift your neural pathways. You're training your brain to see safety, not just threat.
It's like retraining an algorithm. My internal feed is showing me too much doom, and I need to start clicking like on some good things to change what it shows me.
That is a fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
Yes, you're curating your own mental feed. And there's one last piece to this mental valve: connection. Sometimes it's called the tend and befriend response.
Tend and befriend. Sounds a lot nicer than fight or flight.
It's the alternative. When we connect with people, vent to a friend, hug someone, have a nice chat with a colleague, our bodies release oxytocin. Oxytocin acts as a buffer against cortisol. It literally dampens the fear response.
So me calling my friend to complain about my day isn't just whining, it's a biological imperative.
As long as it's a constructive connection, absolutely. Isolation breeds stress. Connection lets the steam out.
Okay, let's recap this toolkit. We've got the body as a steam engine. We need to open the valves to avoid blowing a gasket. Valve number 1, move, the shakeout, even for 10 seconds.
Or a brisk walk, yep. Anything to spike and recover.
Valve number 2, breathe. Box breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. That's the remote control.
And the 4-7-8 for when you need to really calm down.
And valve number 3, reframe. The mental valve. Accept what you can't control. Use that gratitude pivot to retrain your brain and connect with people.
You've got it. It's a whole toolkit. You don't have to use all of them at once, but you need to know they're there.
And I love that none of these requires a plane ticket.
They don't. And before we finish, I just want to leave our listeners with one last thought, maybe a little provocative.
Ooh, let's hear it.
We've spent all this time talking about reducing stress, cooling the engine, but there's a concept in psychology called eustress.
Eustress, spelled E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S.
Correct. It means good stress. Some stress is what motivates us. It gives us that positive energy to get things done.
So stress isn't always the bad guy.
No. Think of a guitar string. If it's too loose, no sound. Too tight, it snaps. But if the tension is just right, it makes music. So my challenge to you is this. Is there an area in your life where you're trying to eliminate stress when you should actually be channeling it? Are you trying to loosen the string too much? Sometimes that racing heart isn't anxiety. It's excitement. It's readiness.
That's a really powerful shift. Instead of trying to drown in the wave, learning how to surf it.
Exactly. Stress is energy. If you have the valves to keep from exploding, you can use that steam to drive the engine forward.
Wow. Okay, that puts a whole new spin on my to-do list for tomorrow. It turns a problem into a resource. Thank you so much. This has been honestly very distressing.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in to this deep dive. Remember, you don't have to carry that pressure all day. Take 60 seconds, shake it out, breathe, open the valve. We'll see you next time on the Healthy Talks channel.